Okay, I'm going to try to do one more video before my battery dies. This is another vintage junk journal that I made. I bought this book at a flea market quite a while ago because look at that cover. It's just beautiful. There's even a Pegasus there. Very elaborate. And there's some gilding on the flowers. And it's a book of poems. There's the spine. So I didn't really do anything. I didn't do anything to the cover except add a hitch post for the hair tie closing, and then I stitched the signatures in. So I'll try to do this quickly before my battery dies. This is a vintage pattern. It's vintage, but I wore this dress. I made 2 dresses out of this pattern when I was a teenager, and I loved that pattern, and I still had it, so I figured I would. It's very, very frayed and torn at the edges, so I trimmed it down, and then I had to trim it again to fit it into the envelope. And then this is from Tsunami Rose, printable, and I used corrugated cardboard to stamp on the back. Tsunami Rose paper here, vintage fragments or something like that. And this is the pilot logbook, and then I cut this out of Tsunami Rose paper. Vintage ledger paper, coffee dyed paper. So Charming Fragments, that's the name of it. So this book is made using Charming Fragments printable paper and printable ephemera, plus some ephemera's Vintage Garden free printables. That's what this is. And these are from Tsunami Rose Vintage Ephemera printables. And that's a rub-on. This is a page from the book, from this book, and I stamped on it. This is from one of Tsunami Rose's kits. Might be from this kit, the Charming Fragments Ephemera kit. Rub-on. This is a piece of scrapbook paper that was left over from something, and I just cut it into that shape, glued some, or stitched some trim on the edges of it. This is alterations tag with some trim on it for decoration. Washi tape. This is a little bag that I folded up. I got that from somebody, and I don't know who. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but I saw somebody do that, so I like that idea. A little piece of crochet doily glued to the bottom of it. Glassine bag here. This is a tag that someone made and sent to me. Pretty, huh? It's got lace, got pearl, some cutouts. It's just so pretty. And I put this little metal tag on it with a flower glued to it. Here's a little bag with some tickets that I coffee dyed, and it's got something sticky on it. And a vintage, Joe Robertson sent me some of these. It's from World War II. I can't think of the word, but they had to have these, what do you call it? When you couldn't get everything you wanted, you had to have rationing. I think it's a little rationing point or something. Anyway, it's from Joe, and this tag she made, she has stamped that for me and sent me a bunch of those tags. And these are cutouts. I think it's time to quit making videos. My brain's not working. Most of the ephemera is stitched to coffee dyed paper and then distressed with this. It's got razors in there for distressing. definition stamped up there. This is a vintage envelope, so this is the flap part. This is an envelope made out of a book page. Someone sent that to me, and it's in a different language. No, it's not. No, but somebody made me an envelope and sent it to me. It's a stamp there. It's a little tiny envelope. This is a Stampin' Up! Card that I bought a long time ago. It came with this size envelope. Got Mod Podge on my hand from another project I was doing. This has a little bit of mulberry paper behind it. Here's the other part of that envelope, vintage envelope. And I stitched that down and put a rub-on on it. I think these are Ephemera's Vintage Garden freebies. There goes my phone. I'll answer it later. Okay. And these are stitched onto, well, this is just stitched around the edges with this fancy stitching. And this is stitched to a coffee dyed time card. Those are just glued on. There's a little glassine bag that has fibers, a little safety pin, this little Tim Holtz charm that says found, a doily, and little printable. I think that's from Yvonne Preston. And this is inside, and this is something I stamped. And that's inside. And this is just made with a doily and some tickets. This has some mulberry paper behind it. This is a freebie from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. Music paper stitched on as a pocket. And that's from Ephemera's Vintage Garden also. And I think that's from Tsunami Rose. This is a rub-on I tried to do, and it wouldn't rub on. It just left a white imprint. It was so strange. This little piece rubbed on, and that was it. But I don't know, it's kind of a cool imprint. And then, can you see that design? That's from paper toweling. I laid the coffee dyed paper on paper towels to dry a little bit before I put it in the oven, and it had that pattern on the paper towel. So that looks kind of lacy and cool. Another page out of the book, and I stamped on it. And then washi tape in the middle. This is one of the cards that I made with stamps. And it happened again. Some mulberry paper again. This is a stamp. Stitched and distressed. There's a little strip of music paper on there. Another one of Jill's tickets that she stamped for me. This came out of a magazine. If you keep a diary, you live a narrated life, and a narrated life is intrinsically different. It has an extra layer. And I stitched that onto scrapbook paper. It's not in there for journaling, it's just in there because I like the quote. And this is a stamp that I have, stamped it on parchment paper. And this is made from a coffee dyed index card. I punched the edge and then stitched this ribbon on and glued a bow to it. This is from Tim Holtz Packaging. And this is Tim Holtz. I don't even know what it's called, but it's an elastic. I punched a hole in there and inserted these ends, and it fastens to the hitch post. I would have put the hitch post down more in the center, but I had to keep it out of the way of the pocket here. So there's my Lucile vintage junk journal. Excuse me for bumping the camera. So I hope you enjoyed seeing that, and I'll be back with some more videos soon. Bye-bye.